Hi guys. Well, I went to the car boot sale this Sunday, the second-hand market, yeah, and there wasn't anything really interesting there, to be honest. There was a few old computers, but they were kind of compact or Dell, these sort of things, which I don't find to be worthwhile to repair and strip down. Basically, I find that anything that's like i3, i5, i7, those type of machines are worth having. Anything that's got AGP slot is worth having for the retro market. Anything that's Pentium 4, 478 and older is worth having. And that's it really. So socket 775 with PCIe, I don't really find there's a market for those boards. Or as I say, the Dells, the compacts and such like. But anyway, went down to the second-hand shop. Never been in before, it's not far from me. Because the missus was looking for some second-hand stuff basically, and for the house, and he had quite a pile of computers down there. So I had a chat with him, and nice guy. Now he's got my number, my WhatsApp, and anything he finds, he's just going to send me, take the lid off, send me a photo, and I can say yes or no. And I've kind of arranged a price deal, like a fixed price really, if we can. Anyway, so that's enough waffling. I've got two computers here from the guy today, so. Let's have a look. There was about 10 down there. These two seem the most interesting of them. So let's have a look and see what we've got, eh? This one's got a Windows XP license. I always keep a note of these license numbers, yeah. Always find they're handy, to be quite honest. So I keep a list of those on a Word document for any of them I see. This machine is... It's a G31. This might be a 775 actually. It's got some sort of graphics card in there. Let's go on to the overhead camera. That's going to be easier to see that way. Let's have a look at it that way. Okay, so this one probably is a 775 actually. I've seen these boards before. Gigabytes GA G31M. E2 AS2L. They are not particularly valuable boards. These have PCIe and PCI. There's some sort of graphics card on it. It's complete. It's got a hard drive. I haven't checked the capacity of that. Stick of RAM, and it's probably quite an early 775. It's got both IDE and SATA. Yeah. €20, which is, I suppose, the equivalent of about, I don't know, £18 in English, something like that. So I suspect there probably is a profit in it, and with a bit of luck, it'll be, something to repair for the channel. So we've got this one. That hard drive, by the way, just now I'm a chance to have a look at it, is kind of it's a 320 gig. Nothing overly exciting. Okay, so that's one machine. I kind of bought this. I wanted to buy a couple of machines off him actually, on the basis that if we can kind of arrange a price, and he knows I'm serious about buying stuff, yeah. So he's got my number now, and basically he's going to WhatsApp me with anything else he finds, and I'm going to say yay or nay. And with a bit of luck, I'll get some good stuff for that price. Okay, this is the other one. No power supply in it, yeah, first thing I noticed, and a DIMM stuck on top of it, yeah. This one I thought was more interesting, so let's just open this one up and have a look, see what's inside here, eh? This is the sort of machine I'd pay €20 for as well. It was the same price. I mean, we started at 50 for two, and I got them for 40. This one's altogether a bit more interesting. Because this has AGP, that's the first thing you'll notice. The slot's a lot further back, yeah. If you see that, it's AGP. Chunky looking fan on here. It's an Intel fan. This is almost certainly, I'll pretty much guarantee this is a Pentium 4 socket 478. No idea which processor. Again, some sort of graphics card on there. This one has just IDE, yeah. So this is, a fairly typical motherboard suitable for a Pentium 4 retro gaming machine with AGP. It'll probably run Windows 98. I'll have to check the drivers. Capacitor's all looking good. He says this one works. But considering there's no power supply in it, I've no idea how he knows. There's also one dim in there and one dim stuck on the top of it, yeah? So let's have a look to see what we've got here. Okay, so it's DDR400. This is the one that was stuck to the top of the machine with sellotape. It's a 256 meg, and the one that's in there is also a 256 meg, but a different make. So I'm not totally sure why this was attached to the top of the machine. But I think because there's no power supply in this one, we'll take this one apart and we'll get it on the bench and we'll have a look. It's got a IDR drive as well. And let's have a look to see what we've got here. Does it work and is it worth anything? Okay, so this is what we've got. So this is obviously, to me, a Pentium 4 board, ASUS. I haven't had this particular one before, but I've had similar, and so I've got an idea what they're worth. Anything with AGP is worth money, basically, if you're looking around for this sort of stuff. Yeah, if you manage to find a socket 775 with AGP, they're rare. So anything that's like Core 2 Duo, Core 2 Quad that has AGP is rare and has some value on the retro market. If it has AGP and PCIe, that's even more rare, yeah? So they're worth buying. What else is worth having? I mean, this is an 80 gig hard drive IDE. Hard drives less than about 10 gig are useful to buy. If you see any hard drives at like 2 gig or even like 700 meg and such like, if they're working, they're worth some good money, yeah? Because people put on 486s and you can't fit bigger. I mean, some 486 boards will take up to an 8 gig, but most of them won't, yeah? So they have money. Floppy drives, not really valuable, but the ones that are worth anything at all, the ones with black, not the beige, yeah? Same with, these are not worth selling. DVD writers, you can buy this for like £2 working, yeah? SATA, this is an IDE, might be a little bit more value. The ones that are worth the most money with these are the beige ones, yeah? Strangely enough, because there's not so many beige or coloured, or like the pale, the creamy coloured, that DVD writers, because by that time most people had black cases, yeah? Whereas the floppy drives, most of them are beige, so the black ones are worth a bit more. That's how it tends to work with this. Okay, so what we got? We have some sort of AGP graphics cards. AGP graphics cards can be worth money. Most of them are not particularly. The ones that are worth money are the fastest ones ever made, which I think are the Radeon 4000 series. I'd have to double check that. Or very early 3D cards. The ones I've had that have been worth the most money was a Creative 3D Blaster 256, which is a GeForce 256, the first ever GPU. That fetched about £70 on eBay. It was working when I got it. And I had some sort of Hercules card. I can't just quite remember what it was. The Hercules card was quite a rare one and fetched about £70. The most valuable, probably the Voodoo cards. Voodoo 3, Voodoo 4, Voodoo 2 are quite fetch good money. Voodoo 5s. Most valuable I think I've ever found is a Voodoo 4 4500, which I still have. It works when I put it into an old machine, but I'm yet to load the drivers to prove it, and I'm tempted to keep it as well, yeah. So that's some idea. Shall we see what shall we see what it does? Yeah, let's do that. So let's just make a few quick checks first. So the most obvious things with this first one is look at the capacitors. It's a visual check, yeah. Boards of this vintage are the ones that you're likely to see bulged capacitors or leaking capacitors, yeah. This one seems to be in particularly good condition, which doesn't mean the capacitors are good, but they haven't failed visibly, yeah. All in all the capacitors on the board are looking good. Second one, obviously, or should be obvious by now, is just make sure you got those shorts on the 12 volts, yeah. Although with something like this, you can be pretty much certain if some of these, if there's a short, it's already been plugged into power. Right, so there's no short on there. Yeah, the other end's ground, obviously. Yeah. So there's no short on the 12 volt. I don't normally bother to look for shorts on here. In this situation now, I'll just plug these in. Yeah, let's see what it does. See if it works. One other thing, by the way, about processors. These Pentium 4478s, they come in a whole variety of speeds. Yeah, I had a particularly rare one a while ago on a board, and for a long time, until I came to sell the board and check the processor, I didn't realise its value. But I had one Pentium 4478. It was a 3.2 gigahertz with 1 meg of cache, and that was a particularly rare processor. And I put on eBay for buy it now, and it didn't take very long to sell for £90. Yeah. So those. Pentium 3s, Pentium 2s, it just depends on the speed, yeah, but they're all definitely worth money if you come across them. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, so this machine didn't come with a power supply. This is a known good one I have. When you've got Pentium 4s, you should take note. Try find a power supply of that era, yeah, because these processors drew a lot more power from the 5 volts, whereas modern ones draw a lot more power from the 8 volts. Sorry, from the 12 volts, yeah. And you need a power supply that can supply enough power on the 5 volts. So, I mean, for instance, this one is like 5 volts at 18 amps, yeah. But the 12 volts is only at, 8 amps, yeah. So this is really, of the vintage. You can tell it only has, like the 20 way. This actually has a joint 20 or 24 way. A lot of them just have 20 way. These are the power supplies you should be using for testing this sort of board, yeah. So we'll stick that in there. Like I was saying, 5 volts, so 12 volts obviously, yeah. There we go. And then I'll just connect a switch and a speaker. This does have SATA, by the way, as well as ID, which originally thought it was only ID. It does have a couple of SATA. The old SATA connectors look different, yeah, so it's easy to miss them. Okay, let's get a few more cables and try it. Okay, I've put the post analyzer card in, I've connected up the power switch. These older boards often have a different layout of the connectors than what you might be used to, yeah. This one certainly does, so it's worth checking on these, because a lot of modern boards have a kind of a standardised layout, yeah. There's no onboard video on this, so we'll have to put this graphics card in. I mean, I've got others, but this is a GV-N52128DS. So N52, the 128 is almost certainly the memory, yeah. N52 is the kind of card. It's probably some sort of GeForce graphics card. Hopefully we'll find out. So let's stick that in there, and then let's connect some power up, and we should be ready to try this one. So we're ready to go. Let's just start this and see what it does. Let's put the power on and start it and see what it does. Okay. It doesn't bleep. DRAM lights lit up. It's made a noise then. It's actually made a noise then. Does it boot it up? No, this is still stuck on D3. I don't think so. Let's have a look to see if we've got anything coming out of this. No, we don't have any video output from it. Occasionally it's making a sound. Can you hear it? And the DRAM light's lit up, so let's take this dim out of here. Let's see what it does now. I'm expecting now it should bleep, yeah, and let's see what error code we get as well. It's gone to the same. And it's bleeping the same. It's quiet, but it is bleeping, okay. So let's try the other DRAM, yeah. This is the machine he said his works, by the way, although there was no power supply, so I take everything with a pinch of salt here, yeah. Stick that one in. Looks like the same thing's going to happen with that RAM as well. Yeah, quiet bleeping. We can take the GPU out. I mean, I'm imagining this is going to do the same with just no GPU as well, because it seems to be the RAM where it's failing. Let's have a look. Let's power on. Yeah, it's just bleeping the same. Okay. So the first question is, I think, is do we actually have the correct sort of RAM in this? I mean, they fit. I doubt there's anything particularly special about them, but we can have a look for the motherboard part number. Yeah, have a quick look on eBay, and not on eBay, sorry. Have a quick look on the internet and see if there's anything particular about the type of RAM we need for this board. Okay, let's go have a look at the user manual. Okay, I found the user manual on ASUS website. Yeah, and it tells us here. This is DDR, it's not DDR400, I thought it was, so it's like DDR1 if you like. So PC 3200, 2700 and 2100, and we have a 3200 was the first one, U for unbuffered, yeah. Which I think this is the other one's a, not quite sure what the other one is. 256 meg, at least one of them definitely is compatible. So that's the RAM, 3 slots. Doesn't make any particular specification as to which RAM slots you use first. Okay, so we know that we have some RAM. We know what type of RAM it takes. Let's go back over to the workbench. So definitely one of these RAMs is good. Well, I say good, it's compatible. Yeah, that one. The other one. KVR 400. I'm not sure about this other one. Not sure about this other one. Let's try this RAM in each socket first. Yeah, if that doesn't work, let's try another stick of RAM. I have quite a bit of RAM at this time. Let's see if we can get something else to work. So let's put it into the middle socket. Power on. I'll wait for the bleep. So let's see what we got. Yep, definitely bleeping. I'm not sure where the bleep's coming from because it doesn't seem to be coming out of my bleeper, but this thing is definitely bleeping the same. Stick this in here. That doesn't bleep. Oh, there's a display gone to something different as well. That's interesting. So it's now in this slot. Yeah, I've still got the DRAM LED lit up. Let's see if we get a video out of this now. It wasn't bleeping that time. Okay, put the video card back in. Let's power it up again. No video. Of course, we don't know if this card's any good either. So what we need to do now is to find some known good parts. Yeah, we can see if we can pin down what's happening with this. But it's not bleeping with the memory in this slot. No, I was wrong earlier. This is DDR400 actually. I sometimes get a bit confused until I actually compare them with some good ones that I've got. Yeah. So I found one the same as one of the ones that didn't work on the machine. This is another one. This seems to be like a double-sided, if that makes any difference. I don't know. I'll stick this one in. I mean, they all physically fit. Yeah. Let's see what this does. Oh, that's doing something different. Yeah. Oh. Seems to like that memory. But it's going to bleep once. Say there's no graphics card. No bleeps. Well, I'm going to put the graphics card in it now and see what it actually does. I'd expected to get one bleep out of that. Let's put this graphics card in, and if this gives us no joy, let's try a known good one. Yeah. that RAM, it obviously appears to like that rather more than the other stuff. Okay, see what this does. It's now got the VGA LED lit up. Still not booting. Let's try a known good graphics card as well. Okay, so I've got a known good card here now, so let's see what it does with this one. Is it going to? But this is where it was stopping before 2A. Yeah. Well, now it's this seems to be doing something. Oh, I've got a picture. P4V8X. It said on the BIOS screen. Yeah, and it's now booting up and saying insert boot device. So let's get a keyboard and mouse and let's stick the hard drive on this. Let's see if it actually boots up. Okay, so we've got the keyboard, mouse. This is the original hard drive. I'm just pointing the camera up at the monitor screen now. So let's see if it'll boot off the hard drive. It's on 2A. It's going to boot. There we go. No, I mean, may well be this hard drive is formatted. I mean, you would expect it to be, wouldn't you, really? But you'd be surprised, you know, the number of times I've actually had them that are not. I don't know, tell a lie. I thought it wasn't going to boot, and it does. Windows XP. It's encrypted in Spanish. And we're in. It's all there. I was just mentioning about this, the resolution of the screen. It's low. We can probably change that. This will be because it's using a different graphics card to the original one. That's why. I wonder if we don't have sufficient something for space. Yeah. Okay. I wonder if now we connect the original graphics card. Will it work? I mean, it could well be that it was just like, you know, a slightly dirty socket, and I've inserted the thing a few times. It's just shut down. Go away. Let's go in. Okay, let's try the original graphics card now and see if it actually does want to work. And the answer to that is no, it doesn't want to work. So we can say for certain we've got a faulty graphics card here. I've tried it again 2 or 3 times and it's just not having any of it. Might be. I've got a little pile of these old cards. Maybe we can have a play with them one day. Yeah, see if we can figure out what's wrong with some of them. Okay, so we're back on. What I'd just be interesting to see now is just what CPU we've got on this. Yeah. My PC properties, yeah. Will this tell us what CPU we have? Yeah, it's a 2.8 gig Pentium 4, so we know what that is. Let's have a look then on eBay. Let's just to see if we're going to make any money out of this machine. Yeah, so we've got a Pentium 4 478 2.8 gigahertz with 512 meg of RAM. That's the RAM. That's the RAM I've stuck in there. Okay, let's have a look to see if this is actually going to make us any money or not. So we know the processor, we know the motherboard, we know the graphics card's no good, and possibly the RAM isn't as well. It might have just been dirty RAM slots, but it didn't seem to like it. I'll put this one in and then it works. I need to just check, I'll do it later, just make sure all the RAM slots are working, and then we know we have a good board. So let's go and see if there's any value to this, yeah? So the CPU then is a Pentium 478. That's the type, the pin out if you like. It's not Pentium 4 775, and it's a 2.8 gigahertz. Yeah. Let's have a look to see if that's any value. Well, yeah, a little bit, yeah. So £7 from China, or a bit more if you go from the UK, 17. Let's see if they've sold any. That's probably the best way to look at this. So let's see if actually any of these actually sell, and then we'll have an idea what it's worth. Yeah, so let's get to sold listings. Yeah. What it varies a bit, little bit. Let's say £10. Yeah, £8, something like that. That's the value of that. Now let's have a look at our motherboard and see if that has any value. So it's an ASUS. It's a P4V8X. P4V8X -X. So let's have a look to see if this has got some. Yeah, there's one there, including postage from Spain, is over £30, 36. Free postage from Spain. Okay, so considering this will get sent to the UK, which is what happens to pretty much most stuff I have, I just get it all in one big parcel and send 30 kilos over to a friend in the UK who lists it there, because the individual postage is too expensive from here. So that is like, it looks like we've got like £45 worth for €20. Yeah. I doubt the hard drives have any great value. IDE 80 gigabyte, Western Digital WD 800. Let's have a look. Well, same sort of thing again, £10. Yeah. So we've got like 20 with the processor. We've got about £50 worth. Would you agree with here? So definitely worth having that one. Okay. Let's go and have a look at the motherboard and see what we have for our other €20. Yeah. So to keep this video not too long, yeah, let's start another one for the other motherboard. Okay, I'll see you soon on another one. Bye now.